These 4 leads sure ran into a lot of familiar faces. Welcome to MsMojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Will and Grace guest stars. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're focusing on big-name performers who made guest appearances on this NBC sitcom. We've excluded celebrities who made cameos as themselves, because that's a list for another day.
Squeaky, rude, drunk, you must be Karen.
Number 10. Neil Patrick Harris as Bill. 6 years before officially coming out as a gay man, actor Neil Patrick Harris appeared on Will and Grace as the leader of an ex-gay support group.
Jack, I'm so proud of you for coming. As a former gay man myself, I know how difficult it can be to take that first step. Welcome back home.
Claiming he has forsaken his homosexual ways, Bill is convinced that he can lead gays down a straight and narrow path. Finding this ridiculous, Jack tries to bring out Bill's inner homo by pretending to be heterosexual.
So, you want to watch the game?
What game?
Foot skitball?
The results are as hysterical as they are enlightening. With some additional help from Karen, the entire group eventually realizes they've been kidding themselves.
I don't know, whenever we're making love, I just can't stop thinking about Rosario.
While Bill could have come off as mean-spirited, Harris molds him into someone who's merely misguided and in denial, and ultimately switches to the winning team.
So anyone here who has a misguided notion that Welcome Back Home is some kind of a gay pickup joint, you can just leave right now.
Number 9. Glenn Close as Fannie Lieber.
I am in the mood for effing life!
In this episode, Oscar nominee Glenn Close lampoons Annie Leibovitz as photographer Fannie Lieber. Will and Grace have no idea what they're getting into when they land a free photo shoot with Fannie, who tears down all boundaries after emerging from behind a curtain.
You are so hot. Oh boy, I bet boys and girls like you. Okay, let's go!
What about me?
What about you? Boom, boom!
Since they're never satisfied with their photos, they keep coming back for more insanity. Close does an exceptional job at conveying the erratic nature of a passionate artist who's constantly flipping between snarky and completely over the top.
A little lower, a little lower, a little lower, a little lower.
In addition to delivering the laughs, Fannie also gets up close and personal with Will and Grace, capturing them at their most vulnerable moment.
That's the one.
Number 8. Ellen DeGeneres as Sister Louise.
I'm Sister Louise, what can I do you for?
Having already opened up publicly about her sexuality, Ellen DeGeneres was a natural choice to guest star on Will and Grace. In an appearance that totally catches the audience off guard, Ellen pops up as Sister Louise, a nun with a hilariously tragic backstory.
My family sent me to a convent when I was 3. Actually, they told me I was going to the zoo. I was all excited. They got me dressed up, gave me a lollipop. I ended up here.
In addition to being married to the Lord, she also operates a cheesecake business on the side. So when Grace tries to buy her late uncle's car back, Louise is unwilling to part with her new delivery vehicle.
What do you mean, no? I'm talking about my Uncle Jerry here. Talk to the beads.
Talking less like a nun and more like a stand-up comedian, Louise will have you laughing all the way to the zoo. It shouldn't come as a surprise that this is Ellen's favorite episode.
We're going to the zoo. We're going to the zoo. Who's going to the zoo? I'm going to the zoo. I'm going. It's a big day for me. I'm not wearing a bra.
Number 7. Nick Offerman as Nick and Jackson Boudreaux.
Excuse me, ladies. Someone needed their pipes cleaned out?
Before he was Ron Swanson on Parks and Recreation, Nick Offerman appeared on Will and Grace as a plumber who has a near sexual encounter with Karen.
What's going on here?
I'm not sure.
2 years after this episode aired, Offerman and actress Megan Mullally would tie the knot in real life. When the series returned for a 9th season years later, Offerman came back as another character named Jackson Boudreaux.
I am Jackson Boudreaux, and this is the art of bread.
A baker who commands every room he enters with intense sexual prowess, Jackson winds up in a relationship with both Will and Grace.
Bread making, love making. What's the difference? Nothing. We need both.
Karen, meanwhile, does not find him attractive at all. As absurd as things get, Offerman once again proves he is a master at maintaining a straight face.
That's quite a loaf you've got there.
Number 6, Matt Damon as Owen.
Well, I believe she also said, "Hey, Cuba, Canada, cowgirl crazy, get out of my light and away from my snacks, bitch."
From Good Will Hunting to Will and Grace. Since actor Sean Hayes actually convinced Matt Damon to appear on the show, it's only fitting that he plays Jack's charismatic rival, Owen. Both men are in competition for a spot in the gay men's chorus, but Jack thinks he has the upper hand upon realizing that Owen is actually straight.
Hey. And hey, Schlapoon, he's straight.
Owen puts up a convincing front, even claiming that he has a boyfriend named Ben. Get it? Although he has a hard time controlling himself when Grace enters the mix.
You're gay, right?
Oh, right, I'm gay.
So you don't mind if I...
No, I'm gay. You should definitely take your shirt off.
Despite being crafty, Damon also brings out Owen's vulnerable side when he finally confesses the truth.
Tell him this. Okay. I'm straight.
Number 5, Alec Baldwin as Malcolm Widmark.
Hey, you scared me.
I guess we all feel a little jumpy and unsafe with Martha Stewart's release.
In what could be viewed as a predecessor to 30 Rock character Jack Donaghy, Alec Baldwin made his debut on Will and Grace towards the end of season 7 as Malcolm. Initially approaching Will about a job opportunity, it's eventually revealed that Malcolm is actually a government agent, in cahoots with Karen's not-quite-dead husband Stan.
I work for the government. We're protecting a very important individual who has requested your services. He wants your help.
Malcolm and Karen quickly take a liking to each other, commencing an on-again, off-again relationship.
Hey, you two. We are back.
Woo!
And I love this girl.
Malcolm notably makes a comeback in season 9, where he rekindles old feelings with Karen.
I thought he'd never leave.
Malcolm's unfiltered mouth, commanding presence, and eccentric nature arguably make him an ideal match for her.
Malcolm! I'm too polite. Damn those nuns at Loyola.
Number 4, Michael Douglas as Detective Gavin Hatch.
The important thing is to blend in. Remember, we are 2 gay laptop users on a date.
15 years after starring in Fatal Attraction, and almost 11 years before playing Liberace in Behind the Candelabra, Michael Douglas appeared on this show as a gay detective with relationship issues. Gavin Hatch might be a confident crime fighter, but he's incredibly insecure when it comes to dealing with men.
Keep dancing. The number 1 lesson when you're on a stakeout is never change your spot.
He then cooks up an elaborate ruse to spend time with an oblivious Will. Of course, there is one thing that freaks Gavin out even more than being open: a set of teeth covered in cookies.
You got something in your teeth.
Whatever.
No, really, all right, just stop it. All right? This really freaks me out. I got a thing about this, okay? So
Seriously?
On the one hand, you could say that Douglas is playing against type as Gavin, but at the same time, his versatility as an actor makes him perfect for the role.
You're not even gay. Guess I'm barking up the wrong tree.
Number 3, Madonna as Liz.
So I had this apartment to myself for 10 years because I was having an affair with my boss, and he paid half the rent so we'd have someplace nice to do it.
This show is no stranger to hosting pop sensations, featuring appearances from Cher and Jennifer Lopez.
Which one of you guys is not wearing gloves?
What makes Madonna's guest spot stand out from the others is that she doesn't play herself. Rather, the Queen of Pop stars as Liz, a real office worker who's lived a very unreal life.
I'm an office manager for the company that does those collections you see on TV. You know, hits of the 80s, ladies of the 80s, rock ballads of the 80s.
Liz's fun-loving personality seemingly makes her a compatible roommate for Karen. Sometimes when you get 2 extreme egos together, however, it can backfire.
Okay, so your half of the bill is $30.45, and don't try rounding it down like my last roommate, because that is just effed up.
A fight over a man instantly turns the 2 friends into jealous rivals, resulting in Liz being evicted.
Who's everybody? Melissa and Keith? They hate you!
Number 2, Gene Wilder as Mr. Stein.
Close your eyes and think of me.
In his final role before retiring from acting, the late Gene Wilder turned in a primetime Emmy-winning performance as Will's boss, Mr. Stein. Nobody plays crazy better than Wilder, and the writers took full advantage of his unique talent during his time on the show.
Mr. Stein, what's wrong? Nothing. Can't a senior partner crouch on top of a toilet if he wants to?
Like many of Wilder's characters, Mr. Stein frequently shifts between being calm and totally unhinged. Sometimes he'll even turn on a dime mid-sentence.
Well, I have. Not!
Unlike some of his other characters, though, Mr. Stein has actually spent time in a mental institution, and he probably should not have left. The unpredictable dialogue mixed with Wilder's dead-on delivery make for an unforgettable guest spot, complete with Young Frankenstein and Willy Wonka references.
Who are you? Am I the only one who sees her?
Before we unveil our #1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Hey guys, can we motor? I don't want to leave my roommates with my iguana for too long, or they'll get them high and make them eat ramen.
I'm into leather play, butch black girls, skunking, pulling the blinds, and poodle balling. Whatever you got, I'll eat it, snort it, or ride it, baby.
My ex-husband wanted me to get a boob job. That's why I got rid of him. Well, that and the fact that he was sleeping with his dental hygienist.
#1, Debbie Reynolds as Bobbi Adler.
76 trombones, let the big parade.
It's made abundantly clear throughout the series that Grace isn't exactly an angelic singer. What makes this all the more hilarious is that Grace's mother is played by one of the greatest musical talents of all time, Debbie Reynolds.
How's my favorite daughter? She's not really my favorite. I say that to all my girls. It makes them feel special.
Needless to say, Bobbi Adler's voice was easier on the ears than Grace's.
Scented witch, aren't we a pair?
As this recurring character, Reynolds portrayed a parent who could be overbearing and judgmental, but also came off as warm and nurturing.
Well, I guess for someone who's been kicked in the knockers by the business that I've devoted my entire life to, I'm okay. I'm devastated.
Even when their relationship hit a bitter note, Bobbi and Grace would always get back on tempo. Reynolds sadly passed away shortly before the revival, although the cast and crew did not forget to pay their respects to this unparalleled guest star.
I miss her.
We have to let her go.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.